It's been almost 7 years and more than 5,000 minutes. And today on the show, it's...
Episode 300 of Lab Rats!
This episode of Lab Rats is brought to you by Click It or Ticket. Hello and welcome to another edition of Lab Rats. My name is Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And this is a very, very special episode. In fact, it's our episode 300.
300. It's like a perfect game in bowling. Or it's like a big car.
It's like a very big car.
Or a very important episode of Lab Rats.
It's a very important episode of Lab Rats. So we have a fantastic episode for you today. We have all the students, as you saw, from Trenton High School, which is just east of Toronto, and they come in very specially to see us all. So hi, guys.
Hi.
You're actually allowed to talk on the show, right? Just don't talk over me or Sean, because we'll get mad and throw you out. No, just kidding. Right? Okay. Cue the laughter. Do we have to work with these people?
Well, for this one episode.
Okay, all right. Okay, good. All right, so today on the show, we're gonna cut off all the students, or many of the students have questions about their favorite episodes, right?
Yes.
And what are they going to do?
Well, we're going to get them to ask their question on camera, and then we're going to answer the questions.
Good.
And then we're going to run a little bit of a clip of the episode that they chose, if they had a specific episode or something that we chose that sort of suits the episode that they were talking about.
So we're going to see some of the highlights from the last 300 episodes, and of course, you can see all 300 episodes, including episode 0, by the way.
Episode 0.
So on YouTube.
So we're really at episode 301 if we're counting.
Don't tell them; it's going to ruin the whole surprise.
But then we had multiple episodes at CES as
That's
well.
true. Yeah, it's probably episode 307.
Or maybe even 310 or 11.
Oh no, I forget about it. Okay, all right. All right, so let's get started then.
Yes.
So this episode is brought to you by Click It or Ticket. In an effort to save more lives on America's roadways, state and local law enforcement agencies will be out in force nationwide between May 21st and June 3rd, 2012, teaming up to crack down on motorists who are not buckling up.
Did you know that motorists are 75% less likely to be killed in a rollover if they're wearing their seatbelts?
Guys, you've got to buckle up. When you get in your car, please buckle up. You know, we hate to lose you as a viewer of this show. You know, every week we do this because we love doing it and we count on every one of you being out there. So to lose one person is intolerable to us. So please, click it or ticket. You know what's cool about having a live studio audience is that you get to be like the ultimate master of control. Like, watch this. Laugh, guys. Okay, now boo at Sean. Isn't that awesome?
Not so much.
All right, let's get going.
All right.
All right. Applause. Feel better?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Feel better.
You don't have the signs this time around.
I know I don't have the signs.
Yeah, we've actually had these students in before. Not all of these same students, but Daniel, the teacher, has actually brought a class in. I think it's a slightly different experience, but sort of the same. So it's sort of like a combination mailbag and clip show.
Good. So who's our first student? What are we going to do? How are we going to do this?
Well, our first show, I like this guy's name. It's going to be Sean, and he has a question for us.
Okay, let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm here at Lab Rats, and my favorite episodes from them are the ones with the food demos, and I'm here to ask them why they use it in their experiments and comparisons.
Well, Sean, you know this story.
I know this story.
But so essentially what happened is when we started this show, it was on the tail end of Call for Help that was shot here in Toronto. And in those days, you know, you were working as a producer and I was working as an on-screen host.
Yes, sir.
And we had the most awesome opportunity to do whatever we wanted on the show as long as there wasn't a huge budget. So I went to see our executive producer at the time and I said, you know, I really want to build a life-size transistor.
Okay.
So I figured you could walk through, transistor's a switch, right? And he said, well, how much money do you need for this transistor? And I said, I need about $500 maybe. And he goes, okay, I'll give you 50. So I'm like, oh, what can I build for $50? Well, that day I happened to go to the grocery store because it was grocery time. And I saw this enormous block of like, the orange cheese.
Yes.
And it was about $50. So I thought, I'm going to carve a transistor out of cheese.
Ew.
And it was hilarious. It was very, very popular. It ended up happening, going on prime time in Australia. We were playing in Australia at the time, and the food demo became the staple on that show. And
Yes.
I became very well known for that. And of course, when we decided to do lab rats, it just was natural to bring that in. So
It wasn't just cheese, though, when you did that demo, though, was it?
no, it was cheese and it was tomato sauce, which was the flow of the electrons. And then I wanted to use a piece of sausage for the gate, and I called Silicon Valley and I talked to somebody at Intel, and he said, no, you can't actually use sausage as a gate. The gate's made out of the same stuff as the as the transistor, so I had to make the gate out of cheese. And so I got corrected by Intel about sausage versus cheese and that sort of thing.
Bad Andy.
I know, but so it has to be technically correct. So that's how the food demo got born. And when we started lab rats, of course, it followed. And we've done mints and kumquats and all kinds of crazy things.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so why don't we take a look at a quick clip of one of our food demos then?
Okay, good. Let's have a look.
Yeah. All right.
Orange. Nope, it's okay.
Right.
Right. Oh, another piece. Okay. Hey, look, a match. Oh, sound the alarm. Ready? That's great. Okay, good. So who's next?
Next up, we have Ryan.
All right, Ryan, what's your question?
Hi everyone, my name is Ryan, and my favorite episode of Lab Rats is number 168, To Fill or Not to Fill. And relating to the episode, my question is, what procedures or what techniques do you use, maybe for the purposes of the show or your own personal use, to save on ink, save some money, or just for the quality?
Yeah, the refill, famous refill. I like the rain slickers now. We'll see a clip in a second. So what's your take on that?
Well, I guess there's a lot of things that you can juggle with refills and ink quality in general. Like the manufacturers themselves pretty much always recommend that you use their paper and their ink. And part of that is because they want you to spend a lot of money with their company. The question about refills is a bit trickier because often the cartridges themselves have very specific formulations, physically speaking, and if you put the wrong ink in there, it might jam up the nozzles that are in there. So you have to be very careful. You can get lucky and have ink that will go through it very well, and sometimes you'll just end up with a gigantic mess, and sometimes they'll leak because they actually put a needle into the cartridges.
Yeah.
And they'll explode.
Yeah.
So typically speaking, I always get manufacturers' cartridges.
Yeah.
But in order to save money, I generally always make sure I'm printing on economy when I'm doing draft. I always check before I print.
Yeah.
And that's
My tip on this is compare the paper, the manufacturer's paper, with their ink. If you're going to do really gorgeous photo output, right? If you're going to frame these pictures, you're going to keep these pictures, that sort of thing. But otherwise, who cares? It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you're printing notes like this, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah.
Exactly. So save some money along the way. So,
Yeah, the photographs are different because the paper is designed to actually react with the ink to bond so it doesn't bleed. So everyone's printed a photograph on a sheet of paper like this and had little spider trails coming out from where the ink hits the paper. And that's why it's not formulated for the paper to actually receive the ink and just bond right to it.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Good. All right. So let's take a clip.
All right, I got enough in there. Okay, so there you go.
So you pull that
All right, so I
out.
got my ink in there, right?
All right.
Now you stick this in here. You want to pierce the bladder as well.
So in you go.
And we're going to refill the ink.
Okay.
And there you go.
So it's refilled. So you would keep going until it's full up.
Till it's full up, yeah, and you keep doing that. Now, what you want to do is you want to seal the hole.
Yeah,
with a
because
piece
otherwise
of-
it's going to start coming out like that.
like that.
I think we should use those rain slickers a whole lot more.
Probably.
I look very good in yellow, don't you think? Yeah, exactly. All right. Who's the next episode?
All right, next up,
Or next theme?
the next question we have is from Mitch.
All right, Mitch. What's your question?
Hi, I'm Mitch, and my favorite episode of Lab Rats is the one where they talk about 6 cool things about Windows 7. And my question is there any features from Windows Vista that you wish they would have kept in Windows 7?
All right, that's a good question. Any features in Vista you wish were in Windows 7? And my answer is no! Vista was a horrible operating system. It was a big disaster, Mitch. It's horrible.
Yeah,
Why would I
crazy.
want something from basically a broken elephant into a cheetah? So that would be my answer there.
That's probably my answer as well.
There you go.
I can tell you one thing that I wish they had left out of this, Windows 7
Yes.
is every time I'm using Windows 7, by default, when you get that and set it up, it automatically downloads updates.
Yeah.
And then it automatically reboots your system after a while.
All right.
So I've been doing
It doesn't
things.
say, hey, would you like to reboot?
Yeah.
It says,
Well, it puts up an alert, but if you don't happen to be there when it says, oh, by the way, we're going to reboot your system in 10 minutes. And so if you just happen to be away from your machine during those 10 minutes, then bang, your system restarts. So if you're doing anything like processing, like I render Camtasia grabs occasionally for lab rats, I've done that and then set it up overnight and then come back and found out, oh, it rebooted and I've got a useless file. So that's one thing I wish they would leave out of Windows 7 next time.
I got it. Okay, cool. All right, well, there you go. So let's take a look at that episode, shall we? Choose to be notified about changes to your computer, and you have 4 settings. And setting number 1 is the maximum. It's like the Vista setting. You should call it the Vista setting, right? Everything, right? So when programs try to install software or make changes to my computer, bug me. And if I make changes to Windows settings, bug me. It's full on, all on. Very nice, very nice. Okay, good. So what's our next question?
We have a question now from Alex.
Okay, Alex, what's your question?
Hi, my name's Alex, and a Lab Rats episode I found really interesting was the Windows 8 consumer preview, and I'm just wondering, with Windows 8 and its similarities to its mobile version, will that alienate people who are using Windows machines for the desktop experience?
All right, so answer for Alex?
I think the question is it going to alienate people? And I think it actually already has. So during our episode, we actually showed a little clip that Chris Pirillo had recorded with his father, where this father had absolutely no clue what to do when he got in to Windows 7 or Windows 8, using it as a desktop user. It's still a consumer preview, so it's not necessarily the way it's going to end up in the end. So they will probably have to do a whole lot of rejigging of how that works in order to make people that are using it on the desktop a lot more comfortable. But I'm wondering if they even want to get the desktop users anymore, because it seems that all the companies are moving to a mobile strategy. What do you think?
Well, I mean, you've got to remember, right? You make the point of it's a consumer preview, right? Which means it is a test version of the software, right? So it's not complete. And that's the point of this, is to actually ship it, to have people test it, see if they like it. Guys like Chris Pirillo's dad are like, I can't figure this out, right? And so now the engineers are going to take that feedback and go back and sort that out, like fix that problem. But I think really to help people out who are used to a keyboard and a screen and not the tablet interface that really Windows 8 is being designed for, they're going to need a very strong legacy or retroactive kind of mode to make sure that you can actually go back to kind of a Windows 7 type of interface with all the Windows 8 enhancements to allow people really to use the computers the way they were designed.
And to make it clear how to get back and forth between the two, I think.
That's right.
I think a lot of this problem will go away in the future as more of the software writers that do these third-party software, like i.e. not Microsoft, make it so that it's optimized for Windows 8 so that it actually goes full screen, as opposed to dumping you out into a half-cocked kind of experience that looks kind of like Windows 7 but doesn't really act like Windows 7. So,
absolutely.
in the future.
All right, so let's take a look at that clip right here.
Look at this. So you click on Internet Explorer here, and you see the tile flipped open, and now you've got a full screen Windows Explorer, and we'll go to Revision 3 and see our friends at TechZilla here. So that's the new way of doing things. Very app-like you would see on a tablet or on your phone. Okay, but let's go back to Start here and go to something that's not quite signed up for that. Like, let's go to Mozilla Firefox. Oh crap, it's Windows 7.
And interesting to note there, of course, that was one of our new episodes, right? So how do you feel about the whole new format?
New format is certainly very different. It's a lot quicker. It's quicker to edit. I like that about it anyways.
It's faster, right?
Yeah,
cool.
Some people still wish we had some features that we had before, like picture time and whatnot. So
and the
cats. We're working on ways to bring some of these things back into the show.
Good stuff.
Stay tuned.
All right. Okay, what's the next question?
Next question we have is from Mike.
All right, Mike, what's your question?
Hi, my name's Mike. My favorite episode of Lab Rats is number 292. And my question is, the iPhone 4S has been out for a few months now. What do you guys think will be upgraded in the iPhone 5?
All right, so features in the iPhone 5 you're looking forward to.
Well, I think they've introduced this into the iPad already. I think they're going to bring 4G LTE into the iPhone 4.
Next
or the
generation.
iPhone 5, yeah. So
Next
faster
generation.
data connection, so wherever you happen to be, a lot peppier data. I'd really like to see them put near-field communications into it as well, like they have in some Android phones right now. So you can just tap your phone against something and transfer data, or tap them against each other to transfer data. I think that would be a really killer feature, but considering that it's a big Android thing now, who knows if Apple will actually want to go that way.
Here's my prediction. I think that what's going to happen is you're going to see the phone transform into a bigger screen size. Right? We've seen all these Android phones with all kinds of different screen sizes, but they're trending towards larger. And the little titchy iPhone is starting to look kind of a bit small and sad, really, if you think about it. So I think we're going to see a bigger iPhone 5.
Yeah, the one thing that I had recently seen was longer and a bit thinner and a bigger screen. So Who knows? The rumor sites always throw these things up, and you never know what's going to be real. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see soon enough. All right. Very good. Okay, well, let's have a look at that clip.
But there's now an A5 dual-core processor inside, just like in the iPad
Multi-core
2.
processor.
Yeah, so it's a lot of speed that you didn't have before in
They
that.
say 7 times.
I think 2 times for the speed of the processor, 7 times for the graphics. So
Right.
definitely from a gaming perspective, it's now a whole lot faster.
Yep. All right. Very good. All right. How about some noise from the audience here? Oh, okay, stop. Again? I like that. That's fun.
You're power tripping.
I know. All right. We got one final question.
Yes.
From the big kahuna himself.
The big kahuna, yes.
The man who brought all these kids here.
Daniel.
Daniel, let's have a look at his question.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My favorite episode is episode 176, on location at the PC Museum. A special part of that episode was when one of the lab rats introduced the TRS-80 from Radio Shack. I remember that model. It takes me back to my childhood when I used to go to Radio Shack stores with empty audio cassettes, take books off the shelf, code the programs, save them through the audio cassette. Thank you very much, lab rats. I got started in personal computing at Radio Shack, and you've reminded me of my origins.
Hey, welcome back to Lab Rats. We're at the PC Museum in Brantford, Ontario, and I've been looking around for my computers from my past. And what are you doing here?
I'm with you.
Go look for a computer, and we'll check in with you a little later.
Bye.
Anyway, so the TRS-80, I found this. This is an awesome computer. This is the computer where I got rejected by a girl in grade 9. Actually, no, but it actually was in the computer lab when I was in high school. Now we're going back to the mid 80s, early 80s here. I want to hug Daniel. He's a nice man.
He's here. You can do it.
Watch. Can we Daniel, thank you, man. You guys have the best teacher in the world. Oh my God. If I had a teacher like you, I would not be doing the job that I'm doing today.
Oh my goodness, you guys help me be a better teacher when I watch you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for bringing these guys today. It's awesome. All right. All right, well, that's episode 300 or 310, depending on how you count.
Let's not get into this again.
I know. Thanks so much for pushing play this week. It's been fantastic to have you guys, follow us over the years. And, we've done almost 7 years now, 300 episodes. And
3 different networks.
3 different networks, that's right. Lots of famous things. You can still see us on the butterscotch.com network. We failed to mention that the other week when we did that episode.
It hasn't actually gone away so much as morphed into something new.
Well, it's still there. They're just not making as much content anymore. But Lab Rats is still airing on butterscotch.com, and we love them for it. So thank you guys. Thanks so much. All right, good. So that's it. I guess if you guys want to email us about future shows, what you want to see, you want to comment on Sean's haircut, which we know you like to do, things like that, you can email us at...
You don't have to wait for episode 600. Just send it now at labrats.tv.
And that's a lot of things to spell. Oh my God, how many words in that? Probably 27
I don't
or so.
know.
Okay, but if you like slow typists, which many of you are out there in Lab Rats land like me, you could email
feedback at labrats.tv.
There you go, very easy. All right, and don't forget you can see us at youtube.com/labratsland. You can check us out on Facebook at
facebook.com/labratsland.
And all our episodes and behind the scenes stuff, that kind of thing, at labrats.tv. And thank you to Revision 3, the network that we're about to land on. They've helped us launch, and we're going to be there real soon. So thanks so much. Thank you to my co-host, Sean, for 7 fabulous years and 300 fabulous episodes.
Thank you to you, sir.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. All right. There you go. That's it from us. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
We'll see you next time. All right, so let's get started then.
Yes.
So this episode is brought to you by a sponsor. Let's take a look. Yes. Good. So that's the midtime show.
Good. By the way, in case anybody wonders why I'm doing this, it's because we have multiple cameras.
Because he's applauding my
we-
handsomeness.
And that, yes. So we have to actually sync all of these up. We've got 4 cameras here that we're using. We have to sync them all up after the fact to make sure that when we go from one camera to the other, everything is in sync, because we have audio on only one camera. So we need to make sure everything is lined up. So I look for spikes in the audio on all 4 of these cameras and then line them all up in the timeline.
Oh, I thought you just thought I was handsome.
No, not so much.
Yeah, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's been almost 7 years and more than 5,000 minutes. And today on the show... It's been almost 7 years and more than 5,000 minutes. And today on the show, it's...
Episode 300 of
Nice.
Hey, that's a cut.
I didn't move my eye line to him, though.
Yeah, Mike, you're running the show.
It's been almost 7 years and 5,000 minutes. Blah, 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 blah.
He does it too.
It's been almost 7 years and more than 5,000 minutes. And today on the show, it's...
Episode 300 of Lab Rats!
Good take.
All right.
Good job, guys.